Hey friends, Gavin here again, and this is an OP-1, and that is my iPad. And today I wanted to show you something that I think is actually pretty cool with the new firmware update for the OP-1 that came out in 2021. I think it's 243, I think is the right firmware update. So anyway, if you don't have that on your OP-1, definitely go and get it if you're going to follow along. But what I'm going to show you is not only does the OP-1 send MIDI to devices over USB, but now with that firmware update, it'll also receive audio, essentially meaning that you can use your OP-1 to control external devices, but also receive that audio, which is the key here, back onto your OP-1. And normally I would use my iPhone for this, not a huge iPad. That's one of the things I love about the OP-1 is how portable it is. And I mean, I always have my phone on me. But I have GarageBand running here on my iPad just because I actually film these videos on my iPhone. So pretend this is much smaller and portable. But I'm going to show you how to set this up. There is a few little quirks to get it to work. But once it's set up, it's pretty fantastic. So let's start off with the basics here. I have a synth engine running, like the OP-1 normally does. But what we want to do instead is send MIDI to here. And you'll actually notice the OP-1 sends MIDI all the time anyway. And you can see that in the the sound meter here. I don't actually know what that's called. But when I press the buttons, you can see that it's being activated, but I'm not getting any sound. So the first step here is to go over to the recording function, make sure that you're on USB and then turn it on. So when we go back, if I press it again here, you can actually see the little blue icon. It turns on and off. You just want to make sure that's on. And now when I press it, you'll hear I'm on a drum program on the iPad here. And when I press it, you can kind of hear the drum, but you also still hear this synth. So the first problem is, how do I activate the keys of the OP-1 without hearing the sound of the OP-1, but still activating the synth that I'm connected to, in this case, the iPad? The best way that I've found is to simply use a sampler or sample-based synth and just find an empty gap on it. So let me show you what I mean here. If I go Shift-1, go to Sampler, and then let's just select whatever. Acid drone's probably fine. Hit Start, and then you'll see at the end here there's a nice gap. So if I take the start point of the sampler to this zeroed out area and then just bring in the loop point stuff, I don't think it actually matters where they are because it's all dead noise anyway. Now when I press this, we're only getting the audio from the iPad or iPhone or whatever device you're connected to. So this is really fun. The fact that I can control my iPad from my OP-1 and sample back into it is basically makes the OP-1 an unlimited synth engine, but still with like its quirky, fun workflow. And you'll see that we can all record that to tape still, right? So if I just have a kick here, I'll just do a quick example. Right? That's to tape now. I'm not pressing it anymore. I could disconnect the iPad, and that's purely on tape on the OP-1. So to show you a bit better example in using the different synths, I can use a combination of stuff here. One of the really exciting things about this is because the OP-1 is sending MIDI, you can also use the pattern sequencers here. And I've set one up ahead of time just so you don't have to watch me like fiddle around with this thing. So I've just got a drum kit, and if I turn it on, it does nothing for some particular reason. Let me figure that out. It might be because I don't have that enabled. Nope. Let me think here. Oh, this brings up a great point. Hopefully you can see the screen there. It's pretty bright. The iPad's MIDI to keyboard setup tends to be in the -2 zone on the keyboard, like a -2 octave. And if you're above that, you don't get a ton of noise. See in these keys right here, that's what was going on. So if I go to -2, I get a lot more on the keys, and it's kind of fiddly with the drums on a synth. I mean, it works the way you'd expect it to on a keyboard. But if you run into that's likely what the issue is that you're in the wrong octave. So now if I go back to my example here, which will hopefully work, there we go. Cool, hey? So now if I go to the tape, just like we did before, I can record this just like anything else that I do on as if I was on the OP-1. So I can hold down record, wait for it, and activate my pattern. Right? How cool is that? The other thing that's really handy here is it allows you to explore different sounds on the synth engine you're using, especially when you have something like a sequencer, because you can switch what device you have on, or which sounds you're using on the device, but keep it running in the same pattern on the OP-1. So if I turn that pattern back on, you'll see what I mean. Right, it's running, but now I could go to a completely different drum kit and audition different sounds. Cool, hey? And you can even go to like the acoustic stuff. I mean, it's all just engines on GarageBand here. Got like some, more classic acoustic type stuff. Let's go back to, what was I at? Advanced Machines. I really like the sound of this one. Okay, so you get the idea. We go back here, we have it to tape now. If I play that, that's on tape. That's not connected to the iPad anymore. So let's go ahead and do something with maybe a bass line here. So I've pre-selected a few to play with, just again, so you're not watching me fiddle around with stuff on the iPad. I did have a bass. Is this it? Right. Let's turn off the pattern sequencer. That always seems to catch me. Cool. One thing you may want to do, just to keep the volume up on the sampled back information, is crank this orange knob, and that just increases the volume of what's going to tape. So I'm on a different track here. I think my drums were on 4. Yeah. So let's put the bass line maybe on 2, and we could just jam out something here. I'm not particularly good at this, but we'll have some fun with it anyway. Okay, let's just let's go for it here. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let me try one more time so the timing isn't completely awful. Here we go. Right. So again, now we have like a completely different sound that we can play with. Let's keep going. This is kind of fun. So let's build up a track again. Like, I mean, we're putting this all on tape. I could unplug this and it would keep working, but we'll go to a synth, or maybe we'll do like this kind of epic cloud formation stuff. Let's turn that up a bit. This seems a little quiet on my end. Hold on, I'm just gonna check my levels here. They seem okay. Okay, yeah, let's go for it. I'm gonna wait for it to come back around. Oh, I need record on. Now I'm gonna wait for it to come back around. Here we go. Cool, so now we got kind of like this rolling pad in the background. Let's finish off with like a little like chiptune-y kind of funky lead thing here, and I'll put this on 1, I think. That's not chiptune-y at all because I'm down an octave. We want higher. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, let's go back to tape. See if we can have some fun with this. Yeah, let's just go for it. Kind of cool, but that timing was pretty bad. Let's try it again. Right. pretty fun. Like I said, the sequencer also works not only with drums, but because it's sending MIDI, it'll work with anything. So if I turn this on, we're going to get a bunch of random keys. That's fun. But I think also if we switch to like, you know, something like the finger pattern, that's probably a little more practical. Let's try that. Hold. Oh yeah, I just want to hold it. That's actually pretty cool. Let's scrap this one and put that in. Nice. Okay, here we go. Man, I feel like this just makes it so much fun to jam on the OP-1. And again, imagine you're like, you know, on the bus or something, you don't have a big ass iPad with you, or maybe you do, whatever. But having the phone on you is just like, I mean, I usually have my OP-1 and I almost always have my phone. Yeah, it's just so much fun to jam around with this thing. The last thing is I mean, it's all MIDI, but I really liked it, was the, what is it called? The, not endless, the arpeggiator. Where's the arpeggiator, Gavin? I never use this thing. I mean, I never use the arpeggiator. This is embarrassing. I'm recording myself trying to find something. It's under finger, pattern, sketch, tombola. Oh, it's up top here, man. Okay, I'm not crazy. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's in patterns. Here we go. Right, and then you can just hold that. And then because it's a MIDI, we can change this up. And again, just audition some sounds. Okay, it's getting hectic. So as you can see, you're not limited to anything. And I'm just using GarageBand as an example because not only does it have a ton of great synths in it, but you can modify them a bunch. And I mean, this will work with anything. It'll work with the guitar. It works with the drums. Like let's just play an acoustic guitar, right? We go back to the synth. Make sure my arpeggiator's off. I think you could do chords. Yeah, check that out. Like how fun. Put on a chorus and a blue echo. Cool. Let's go down an octave. I should probably stop because this video is going to take forever with me just fooling around with this thing. But like I said, on the iPhone, there's many other synths like a bunch of the Moog synths and whatnot, but everybody can get GarageBand. It's free on the phone, and there's a ton in there. I would say just like try that out. Hook up your OP-1. I mean, you might need an adapter, the USB to USB-C in the case of the iPad, and then USB to Lightning in the case of the iPhone. But very capable and a great way to add essentially an unlimited amount of synths. I mean, this really does just now become a DAW in your pocket. Well, maybe not your pocket, but at least your backpack. And a lot more fun to jam on than an iPad, or sorry, not an iPad. Well, even in the iPad. I don't use GarageBand on the iPad, but I meant to say laptop. I'm on a computer all day. I don't find it super inspiring to sit there and type on my keyboard and whatnot, but carrying this thing around, you know, I'm at the lunch table at work or something, I'll pull it out of my backpack and just jam away, and all of a sudden an hour's gone. If you're digging it, let me know down in the comments. Give it a thumbs up. If you hate this kind of video, let me know that too. I'm having fun with this, but I also want to make videos that you guys find useful. If you want some more OP-1 videos, yeah, like I said, let me know. Subscribe to stay on top of my content. I'm going to be doing some more OP-1 tutorials, but some jams too, where I'm not talking. I'm just going to, record myself doing some lo-fi, but also maybe some house music and stuff. And then I got a few coming up with my Digitact and actually just got my hands on the SP404 Mark II, which I'm still learning, so I'm not really going to record anything until I'm a little more familiar with it. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you another time.